Look, 100 years after 100 years, they done lied to us about this and that. Told us all we from Africa and made fiction characters turn into facts. Harriet Tubman, then it was Nat. Knowing goddamn well that trick was capped. My wife and I wrote a book about it, and it's book with knowledge, evidence, and fact. My other book got them haters shook, cause it's helping my people take a closer look at their backgrounds in the background, showing my people where they supposed to look, showing my people where to get it from, where to hit it from, all sorts of angles. When it comes to this research, you must please first, don't trust strangers. Find out all on your own is what I highly recommend and suggest. And if you looking for uncensored content by me, I highly recommend you the best, which is my website at the link you see just across the screen. Don't let it miss you, I make it simple. I double down on that black and white, it's too official. Oh, see you everyone. Hope you all are doing well. Shout out to the free thinkers. Shout out to the truth seekers. Shout out to those of you that have been conducting research on your family and doing the genealogy, in which I'm going to be going over another genealogy video here shortly, but that's not what this is about. This particular video is going to be very interesting, okay? There's some things that I want to point out with you guys that is inside of this video that you see right next to me, that have been displayed for years ago, okay? And I just wanted to bring it to your attention. So without further ado, let me give you a rundown of what this is. What you're getting ready to see is an Italian film that was done in 1971. It was in Italian, it was called Addio Zio Tom. Now in English, it's called Goodbye Uncle Tom. In the clips, they're going to be speaking Italian that I'm going to play, but there is an English overdub so you can understand what they're being, what they're saying. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. So I'm going to go from clip to clip. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm going to go from clip to clip. You'll be able to see it clipped up, and we'll talk about that. We'll have those conversations. But keep in mind, guys, I already put the footage out of me proving a lot of this stuff already by way of documentation and primary sources. I'm just utilizing this one to drive the point home that they have been talking about this, and not only here in the Americas, they've been talking about this even in Western European land masses, okay? But this particular video is about the antebellum of America, antebellum America, okay? Don't forget that this was an Italian documentary, 1971. Let's get it in.
Sorry, who's got a pen? Pen?
Here's one.
Thank you, sir.
Don't mention it.
Here, sign here. Clearly and legibly. Full name on the dotted line. Johann Jerome Gutenberg. Sorry, who's got a pen? Pen?
Here's one.
Thank you, sir.
Don't mention it.
Here, sign here. Clearly and legibly. Full name on the dotted line. Johann Jerome Gutenberg.
Napoleon,
Nero,
Julius Caesar,
Gabriel.
Alexander the Great,
Lucifer,
name,
Judas,
Butterfly. Peter.
Achilles.
Samson.
Excuse us, sir.
You hear them
My
names?
colleague and I are here to conduct an inquiry. May we ask you a few questions?
Yes, please, master. I'm at your disposal.
You're here, as it were, to be sold, no?
Of course.
We are truly appalled, sir. We can imagine how you must feel, your fear, your indignation.
On the contrary, why, in my career, I have always been very lucky. I've had masters, each one more humane than the next.
But haven't you ever been treated brutally, whipped, beaten,
Listen.
tortured?
In our profession, what counts is to do one's duty. Don't listen to all those stories about the various Uncle Toms and Simon Legrees and so on. It's all nonsense. The truth is that we are valuable merchandise. And have you seen the prices in the market? I know it. I cost more than $2,000. And can you imagine a fool, excuse the expression, a fool of a master who would whip and maim a capital of over $2,000? No! If a slave is a respectable slave, his master treats him with kid gloves because it takes only one scar, one single scar, and plop, down shoots the price. You know, the client is suspicious.
But, sir, surely you must realize the injustice of your situation, the violation of your liberty, your freedom.
If you speak of freedom, sir, I must tell you something. I am a worker, and workers are not free and never will be. If you speak of my condition.
Hold on. He said that he was a worker. Okay, and I want you guys to understand that. This is the reason why I've been telling you guys that slavery is not the way that a lot of people would portray it as. It's all about working. It's about employment. Again, he indicated that he costs more as far as his value is concerned to work. Of course, they're going to say slave master, but to work for his employer, okay, with him being valuable, meaning he's able-bodied, he's healthy, he hasn't been whipped, you know, chained and all this other stuff. And see how the interview was asking him, but what about the inhumane injustice? And he like, nah, I am a worker. You have to peep that. That's what's been happening in the Americas. Keep in mind, that's what this movie is focused on anyway. Slavery in America. Don't forget that. Okay, so yes, when I say that slavery is not the way that we were told, I'm referring to the fact that slavery, it was all about employment. I know it's people out there getting my words twisted, but no, if you hear me now, you heard what I just said. All right, so let me go back a tad bit.
And never will be. If you speak of I am a worker, and workers are not free and never will be.
See, it's still going on right now.
I will quickly say, I don't pay taxes. I'm housed, fed, and clothed by my employer. I work a short week.
Hold on. Listen. He is what? One more time.
Fed and clothed by my employer.
By his employer.
I will quickly say, I don't pay taxes.
You don't pay
I'm
taxes.
Housed, fed, and clothed by my employer. I work a short week. My medical care is free. I get a Christmas bonus and retirement or permanent disability at the expense of my employer. Without mentioning this, that in time of war, I am not even obligated to military service.
Oh, but if you're not even paid,
you know.
See, that's a big deal. And you guys have to understand this. That's employment. That sounds like something right now, like nowadays. A lot of you may think just because you know, privileged in certain cases that you're not still enslaved. You got another thing coming. He just described a lot of people's conditions that's going on right now, minus the paying taxes part, or not paying taxes rather. Ooh, man, I'm gonna drop a bomb right here. And this is just a movie talking about slavery in America. And, you know, a lot of you people are turning your nose up. And when I say you people, it's certain people, not all people, certain people turning their nose up to certain things that I've been mentioning, calling me outside of my name. They thinking this is new information when I'm telling you that it's old. This stuff has been out. You just wasn't paying attention. That's very important because it's still happening now. When I tell you that slavery wasn't abolished in 1863, 1865, it was just a transfer of ownership and went from person to person, meaning person to business, as far as ownership is concerned. Listen, it went to the government as far as ownership is concerned. He didn't have to pay taxes. You paying taxes right now. To who? Think about it. The government. Period. Period. You gonna hear me, regardless if you like it or not, because I'm telling you the truth. I'm trying to get you guys to wake up. We got a lot of work to do. And I know some of y'all that's been on my channel for quite some time, tired of me repeating myself with just the basic things. And I've been wanting to go, I mean, let me calm down. I've been wanting to go so far with a lot of this information and put this out, but I know for a fact that there's so many newcomers coming in that they need to understand before I start jumping to the big stuff. And they really gonna, they're gonna be lost. And I'm not, listen, I'm trying to hurry up now with you guys, and I'm about to be putting out more stuff, books and movies and stuff like that to get you guys caught up. Because like I said, this is going to be the year where I'm turning it up times 10 with this information. And that's not it. I'm not talking about just this part alone. We got more to go. So let's continue.
I see the ones which you gentlemen...
Let's go back a little bit. Hold on.
I am not even obligated to military service.
Oh, but if you're not even paid...
You know, I see the ones which you gentlemen call freed slaves or liberated workers. Out from morning till night, working like horses to make ends meet. And they never do. So, just tell me then, what's the difference between us slaves and liberated workers?
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Who, me?
Yes, you. You're a dishonor to your race.
Waving that camera around, will you?
All right, but with all the thousands of tormented slaves there are in this country, we have to run into that puppet.
See what I'm saying?
Collaborate.
I know I can't play certain parts that was just played. I'm just going to skip up to this part right here because I believe the part that I'm referring to is getting ready to come up. And I want you guys to see this. But this particular scientist right here is going over the Darwinism, okay, of how they believe that the so-called black race is the inferior race. Okay, and this is the reason why they're all chained up, basically so they could conduct studies to try to figure out how they can make them become better workers. And on top of them trying to figure out where they came from, referring to the white people. Just know that he's referring to these people as Negroes and some of these people as Africans. Okay, there was a difference. Okay, he would say certain ones are Africanoid or something. Actually, let me go back. Hold on.
Now here is a perfect example of Cachexia africana, or dirt eating.
What do they do? Bite?
Oh, no.
See?
This is not a muzzle. No. It's simply to keep them from devouring every sort of refuse, including their own excrement and dirt. It's a form of unconscious suicide brought on by a lack of some substance of which we know nothing.
Now, hold on. I want you guys to know that in this particular section, he's telling this interviewer, or let me say the interviewer, talking to the camera, the differences between Negroes and Africans. Then later on, he's going to get into something that I want you to see.
Ah, there you are, little bird. There you are. Oh, boy.
What are they doing here? They're Indians.
Ah, this is one of my many unsuccessful experiments. You see, with Indians, there's absolutely nothing to be done. There's the same difference between a Negro and an Indian as there is between a dog and a coyote.
Do I need to repeat that? Negroes and the Indians are the same thing. Look at her. She probably look like somebody's grandma out there right now.
You can put a dog on a leash, beat him, and he'll always be there to lick your feet. Take away a coyote's liberty and you've cut off his heir. An Indian will never be a slave. No one has ever been able to make them reproduce in captivity. They do not eat, they do not talk, they do not sleep, they do not make love.
So yeah, they were talking about slavery in America. And keep in mind, at that time, they were indicating that there was no difference between Negroes and Indians. Now, once again, I'm not using this as proof, but I'm just letting you guys know that this is also being shared all over the world, technically. Okay, so if it's the Italians, it's the French, it's the English, the Germans, there's no getting around it. It wasn't no mestizos, it wasn't no Europeans, none of that inside of our tribes. Period. It wasn't no Asiatic mestizos neither. That didn't happen. Okay? When you see these people, they look just like you and I. Look at that. Look at her. Look at her. Saying that they're Indian now. See? Then he said an Indian will never be a slave. He said that.
He'll be there to lick your feet. Take away a coyote's liberty and you've cut off his heir. An Indian will never be a slave. No one has ever been able to make them reproduce in captivity.
Not in captivity.
They do not talk, they do not sleep, they do not make love.
They're gonna stay quiet. Because they're without their chiefs. It's a spirituality thing. But I just wanted you guys to hear that, and that's the English overdub of the Italians. This is what they saw by way of their documentation and research, how they saw slavery in America. And I'm glad that you guys got to hear the fact that the Negro slaves were nothing but employees. I already showed you the proof. I'm just putting the icing on the cake with stuff like this. Once again, do your own research. It's very important for you to do your genealogy. You can't secure the tribe without finding out which tribe you're secured with. I want you guys to understand that genealogy is the most important thing right now, because we've been told over and over and over again a lot of lies about our history. That's coming from schools, that's coming from churches, that's coming from any institutions, that's coming from all curriculums that was taught. They lied to us. The only people that will know about your history is your family members, your elder family members. They would know. Not the ones that were indoctrinated in the 1960s with the so-called black term that they still pushing out right now. Nobody used that in a great way prior to the 1960s to describe themselves. We should not be describing ourselves by way of color. That is backwards. And you wonder why we're not getting reparations. And I told you why. Because the government don't know no black people, and they don't have to. They're non-existent anyway. Especially when it comes to law. They know Negroes. They know Negro Indians. They know American Indians. They know Ameri Indians. They know wild Indians. They know urban Indians. These are the terms that they were using. This ain't no entertainment channel. I'm not a comedian. I'm giving it to you raw. I don't want no games played on my people no more. Not a lot of us are going to be associated with Africans. Our people didn't come from Africa. We were already here. We have to bring that to the forefront. And let's make some moves to get our land back. The fight has been about our land. These foreigners are on stolen land, stolen from our ancestors. And we just sit back agreeing to being called non-existent, black. or misnomers like African American. They're gonna name you 2 continents. You falling for that? If you allowing a stranger to call you something that you not, your credibility is out the window with me. I'm putting in this work to let people know who they are. Okay? With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. I'm gonna see you in the next video. I'm Dane Calloway, and you know what I'm here to do. I'm just here to make you think.